Boom! Live and direct, as always. Yeah, with the Peace giTa. Greetings, Frank. An honor again to have you live on the Truman Show with me.
Yes,
to review PT's book. It's always refreshing. It feels fresh all the time to come here anyway.
Yeah,
There's
super positive.
Yeah, there's not a single day that is the same. Like it's a grand celebration each and every day. So
that's it.
We're here today to celebrate, celebrate love. I got another 8 in there. We're here to celebrate. We'll leave it there. This one, we're here to celebrate. Yeah, PT's great writings. Definitely, it's a book that can help a lot of people just to move out the dark age and I don't know, seek something. If you look for enlightenment or some kind of tools to help you figure it out, because if you're all mixed up in this and the rabbit hole and stuff and you want to do your psychological sorting, I think that's how PT used to call it, psychological sorting. Well, that book is a great tool for that.
Yes.
So today, Frank, we're going to start with the age of the individual. It's a good one.
Yeah.
They're all good. They're all very to the point. You know, PT has a point in each and every P-log.
Yes.
And he go on with very great information in there, definitely, to help us do our psychological sorting. So, Frank, boom, you're on with age of the individual.
Yes. Age of the individual. They're calling the present as age of the individual just because many can lie on a bed, laze on a sofa, talk on a mobile phone, guzzle alcohol and petrol, become a consumer of unnecessary items. They surely are unable to see that this so-called individuation has not made people rise above the mass hive muggle mentality. Their perspective remains as narrow as it ever was. Just because everyone is consuming more resources and doing whatever the heck they fancy doesn't make them an individual. In fact, individuals are only born out of the decision to serve high and divine, to gain higher perspective. It is a step which requires discipline, not just letting go and going crazy, which is the current mass definition of an individual, as seen in all their pop stars / rock stars, etc.
Yep. L'âge de l'individu. As usual, we do English, then French, and we exchange me and Frank in English, of course.
Yes.
So, l'âge de l'individu. Ils appellent le présent comme l'âge de l'individu, juste parce que beaucoup peuvent s'allonger sur un lit, flemmarder sur un canapé, parler au téléphone, engloutir de l'alcool et de l'essence, devenir un consommateur d'objets inutiles. Ils sont vraiment incapables de voir que cette soi-disant individualisation n'a pas élevé les gens au-dessus de la mentalité de la ruche massive moldue. Leur perspective reste aussi étroite qu'elle ne l'a jamais été. Juste parce que tout le monde consomme plus de ressources et fait ce qu'il veut, ne fait pas d'eux des individus. En fait, des individus sont nés seulement de la décision de servir le supérieur et le divin pour obtenir une perspective plus élevée. C'est une étape qui demande de la discipline, pas juste se laisser aller et faire n'importe quoi, ce qui est la définition courante d'individus que les foules ont comme on peut le voir, de leurs pop stars et rock stars, etc. The individual first, if we look at the word individual, so if you are a muggle robot going along with the program with the default state, you are certainly not an individual. Mm-hmm. The way I see it is a lot that we all have a dual personality or dual higher self, lower self, if you want to put it like this.
Yes.
That's a bit the way I see it, and that's this duality within you. But if you have no higher self, There's no duality. There's no individual. You're just a muggle, robot, parrot, robot repeating nonsense. So you have no thoughts for yourself, even though the thoughts is always something that I know the base doesn't come from me because of the alphabet and the numbers. It's been put into my head. I haven't invented the alphabet. So just that is, but at least I can make up my own word. They gave me a tool, they gave me an alphabet and numbers. Now I went on and create my own words. Love my own words. Love.
Yes.
All love.
Right.
It's all love. So if you are to come back to the individual, it's very easy to see the ones that are individual because they have the higher self activated. If you don't have any higher side of yourself activated, you're not even an individual. That's why it's hard sometimes to look at someone and recognize that they are even someone, because very often they will just go along with the program and repeat the nonsense that everyone is repeating along, like all the buzzword and like. There's no scrutiny. Like a muggle will not use scrutiny and research and ask question, and someone with a higher presence, your honor, I can call that a higher presence because you're more present, will question things, will go on a quest.
Mhm.
What's the point of being alive if you don't ask question? I never really understood why myself, but I understand today why I was put into a trance, and like you go along with the trance because also everyone around you is in a trance and very shameless about it. So there's no, as long as there's no recognition of the shame that you live in, the stupid life that you live, let's put it clearly, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
Right.
I always said I live my life like an idiot because no individuality at all. Like, because also it's very important to recognize that we should be individual because we're all unique and in so many ways. There will never be another Truman walking the earth.
Right.
Never. Like
Yeah.
me, never in that shape and that voice and those eyes. Never. I'm freaking unique. So
Uh,
why we don't express that uniqueness, that personality that we have, that individuality? But then you gotta activate some stuff within you. I don't even need to. I read his thing, but to me the word says it very clearly, and I agree with everything PT says also about the age of the individuality. If you're
mhm.
sitting on the couch all day long, not doing nothing, not loving anything and that can uplift you, because we're here to create love. We're not here to create. That's
Right.
the thing. We're not here to create. We're here to create love.
Right.
That makes sense. It makes sense to me, because the eight has to go. That's the problem with our world also. We're not enough on the side of the love and too much on the eight. So there's no balance. Again, it's a balance. But I don't think you should recognize the eight and the negative and the dark and the stuff, but it's not something we should like embrace, like the love, light, truth, and all the good vibration that this world has to offer. But
Right.
again, if you want to have balance, you got to be aware. I think it's a game of awareness and also awareness of the individual. But if you have no awareness of freaking anything in life, how will you recognize that you even have a side of yourself that should come out, a higher self, something that is a lot more divine than, because the lower self will destroy itself. The lower self will destroy you.
Right.
That's your enemy. The higher self is what you should look up to, your higher self, not someone else higher self. Your higher self, you should look up to it really, really hard. And maybe one day you will reach a state in life where you are fully the higher self. Like you are your higher self at all times. So you have tamed the enemy within at all cost. And that's the distraction has to go and all that stuff. to be able to reach that higher self. You cannot reach your higher self if you're constantly distracted. Constantly. You're being con with distraction. That's why I use that word. So, because I think about before I speak. So that makes me a great individual too, because I think before I speak, Frank.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's a bit my resume of the age of the individual. Maybe you can give me your take on this, Frank.
Totally.
We meet each other pretty much, but sometimes you express yourself in a different way and with a different perspective. So because sometimes me, I'm a bit rough and to the core and stuff. You're a bit more mellow than me, so sometimes you kind of calm me down in my intervention, and I kind of like it. So,
Nice.
but you're more. Yeah, we have the same. We share a perspective, definitely,
Right.
but the way we process the whole thing is different, certainly, because you are your own self. I am me. So. But that's what's great is we get together and we share perspective. I find that amazing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and that's, I mean, part of, I mean, this P-log here, age of the individual. I mean, it is true that each of us has our own individual nature, the own particular like facets of like who we are and how we express things. That's like a gift that we have from divine, and it's also kind of an amalgamation of all the choices that we've made in the past. It kind of like molds us into who we are, you know. And in the Vedic perspectives, not only like the things that have happened in the past within this lifetime, but over many lifetimes, different things have gone in different ways, and you know, it shapes us and it molds us, and we have certain characteristics. And not to go into that too much, but that just is kind of related to this idea of the age of the individual. Whereas today, you know, they get us to kind of like go after, like P is saying here, overconsumption, or like just being late, like how like freedom is like being lazy, or like I don't have any responsibility, or that I can just be wasteful and just, you know, throw $100 bills or, you know, whatever, right? Like something dumb like that. Whereas I love how P points out, like, what is real individuality? Individuality is, he says, in fact, individuals are only born out of the decision to serve the high and divine, to gain higher perspective. It's a step which requires discipline, not just letting go and going crazy. So because each of us has our own individual nature and characteristic and ways that we are, which is unique to ourselves, then when we do decide, if that is a choice that we, you know, come to make, that we want to evolve, we want to do things that are going to be really cultivating like peace, positivity, harmony, love within ourselves, then we get to express that in our own individual ways. We might have certain things that we like, certain styles or ways of, you know, dressing or expressing or whatever it happens to be. And in all those different, you know, character ways that we can embody, there is a way to do that that is going to be in service to divine, in line with nature and with the elements, and, you know, being able to live in a harmonious way. And so we all get to express that in our own individual way. Like, how do you want to serve divine? How are you going to bring that positivity and that joyful feeling, and that that way that we can really rejoice in the gift of life and this opportunity to be able to rise in our consciousness and to be able to kind of, you know, just like the whole carpe diem, you know, like just seize the moment and really just work on refining the choices that we make so that we can, you know, make something beautiful of this life and makes them beautiful for ourselves. And we can sit there and then you can look at it and just give your gratitude and just have this. It's like a fountain, you know, that positive, that loving feeling starts to rise up and then it comes out. And then, you know, it's the shimmering thing that you see that starts, you know, becoming like a magic in your life around you. And then like how a fountain goes in a pump, takes that beauty that goes down and it cycles it back up, and it just like is this infinite cool thing, you know. That's like really this evolving life is really analogous to that, just this like fountain of beauty that's just like constantly flowing and bubbling, and it's just so great. And so that's really what makes us an individual, because too, like as we see other people start to awaken and arise and bloom, and that fountain starts to spurt within them and out of them, then it's inspiring, and it lights other people to want to do something good for themselves too, you know. And then we have like here we're just reviewing P's work, because P is really like just so, he's just so locked in on just being able to like be so centered in the bliss of divine, and then just like be so solid in that all the time. And he's able to express it in so many ways, through his music, through his writings here, through his you know, expression of astrology and different you know, modalities that kind of just give meaning to life in the world in which, you know, you can yeah, it's a great thing. So yeah, by going towards divine, that, and especially in the time that we're in, it's true for all times, but the common theme of today is so backwards. And so what actually sets us apart is when we want to do what is right. And yeah, that's where we all want to go.
Yeah, exactly. And even what's right, what's wrong sometimes is so hard to, not hard to grasp the idea of what's right, what's wrong, but
Right.
even because the word right,
yeah, it's like one-sided.
the word right is a sound, okay,
Mhm.
that is can cover a lot of words. Like the ritual comes from the right. So even
Right.
doing what's right, are you repeating a ritual when you do what's right? So, or what's wrong? So even that, for some people, I think you really have to be aware also of the words that you use exactly, because even doing the right thing, you could be thinking you're doing the right thing. Like many people think that they are good people, think that they are doing the right thing,
Right.
but are they, or are they just repeating a ritual? That's what I'm saying. So even doing for, I think it takes a great awareness here on earth of a lot of stuff to really be able to end up doing the right thing, like in a really right way. But even the word is so yeah. But we all know a bit what it is to, if we go by doing the right thing. I don't want to go too far into saying it's a ritual and stuff, but
Right.
we know what's right, what's wrong. We know what we should do in any given moment. Like it's just we decide not to do it and not to embrace the higher self and stuff. And like you were saying. So yeah, that's a great one. Age of the individual. So yeah, don't forget the other one inside. He wants to rise, definitely. But there's the word enemy has the word me in it. It's you against you. It's not you. That this has to be realized too. It's not you against the world. It's not me against the world. It's me against me.
Right.
That's all it is. And that's what it will always be, because you will hurt yourself before others hurt you. And you will hurt yourself inimaginable way.
Yeah.
In a way that you can't imagine how bad you hurt yourself, especially just from not rising above the lower self and keeping yourself depressed and stuff, because
Right.
you might not be on a clinical depression like they call it in Babylon and all the doctors and the psychologists, psychiatrists, but I think we're all in a depress as long as you don't start sharing your gift. You have to uncover that gift, work
Right.
on it, share it with the world, then you're gonna have start making a shift within to really reach the higher self. But first, I think it comes with uncovering, not discovering, but uncovering your gift, because it's there. You have a
Yeah.
gift. You're talented for something. There's something meant for you out there. But if you always stay in the lower chakras, lower self, and lower, you will never, never rise above the nonsense of your own self, first of all. Never mind the nonsense of the world.
Right.
Money. We're not even talking about the matrix and the Babylon. No, we're talking about the individual. That's really what it is. It's not the age of the world, age of the individual. That's what we said, right?
Right.
So I think we need a great, great look at ourselves in that mirror verse and rise above the nonsense that you have created often just to avoid going through your fears. But you go through fears. That's the weird thing. We go through fears all day long. We experience fears all day long. But when it comes time to express our uniqueness, now we're still in fear of what other peoples will think of us. So it's crazy the fear how it can act on someone just to prevent them from reaching that higher self.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So all this has to be realized. But different or clones is our next one, Frank, and it's a good continuum of the other one before, the individual. Different or clones. I'll let you go on with this, Frank.
Yes. Going along in the same line. Different or clones. Most people have at least another 100,000 exactly like them. Prototype number 1, 2, 3, and so forth. Still, they all believe that they are different or have thoughts and emotions which are somehow their own and no one else's. Most of their thoughts and emotions come from social conditioning, which is, in turn, controlled by beings and forces which control society. Everything about most people, muggles, is from the same limited box. To become an individual requires a separation from the hive, which most are unwilling to do. To become one of a kind requires proper sadhana, penance, which most find daunting. So different does require doing really different and evolving, even if one is born as one of the clones.
Yeah. Différents ou clones, la plupart ont au moins 100 000 autres personnes qui sont exactement comme eux. Prototype numéro 1, 2, 3 et ainsi de suite. Pourtant, ils croient tous qu'ils sont différents ou qu'ils ont des pensées et des émotions qui, d'une manière ou d'une autre, sont à eux et à personne d'autre. La plupart des pensées et des émotions proviennent du conditionnement social, qui est à son tour contrôlé par des êtres forces qui contrôlent la société. Tout ce qui, tout ce qui concerne la plupart des gens, moldus, muggles, provient de la même boîte limitée. Devenir un individu demande une séparation de la ruche que la plupart sont incapables de faire. Devenir unique en son genre nécessite un sandana, pénitence en français, approprié que la plupart trouvent intimidant. Donc, différent requiert faire vraiment différent et évoluer même si on est né comme l'un des clones. Anyone can rise above their nonsense, clone stuff at any moment in their life. That's why it's important not to be judgmental on each other, because one person one day can be a muggle and the other day can do something great and get out of that mentality. So I think we should be very careful when we pass judgment on others, because who are you to judge? Who am I to judge? I was there. I was exactly, maybe not exactly, but I was thinking like everyone else, the same thoughts, the same process, the same emotion. Like you want to experience different kind of emotion. You want to also experience different senses. Like they tell you you have 5 senses. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. There's way more than that. But in the muggle box, you have all the same range of emotion, pretty much rage often. Rage, the rage is often there for many, okay?
Yeah.
And they just pretend to be nice, but because they see you outside walking, but then in the street they're gonna want to run you over or cut you off, or like no courtesy really and towards others. So all this is yeah, it's what everyone does. They're like, they have courage. Yeah. They have rage in the neck. Coup is neck in French. The same words, French and English, courage, courage. So yes, we all have great courage. But to do what? To do what? Just to repeat the same nonsense? To me, I prefer the word brave. Brave over courage. And I
Right.
always say in Babylon, you have to be bold and brave. Never mind the courage. It's nothing about being courageous. You have to be brave.
Right.
The courage, I think it's a word that I don't even use, but exactly. Now you see the individual starting to come out of me, because exactly I put words aside. I'm like, oh no, that's not good word. That's not a good resonance within me.
Right.
Boom,
Right.
aside. So that's a bit also the start of your individuality, is when you can start forming your own words and stuff, your own thoughts. Like, to me, it's very important to be aware and grow in that awareness also.
You want to be articulate with what you want to mean. You're like, does
Yeah.
this mean? Is this getting across like what I'm actually trying to like share with you? You know, like, or is it kind of mixed? You
Like
want it
when
to
you
be
say,
clear. You know, you want to be straight on.
yeah, like when you say to so, oh, I appreciate you. Okay, to me that sounds like you hate me, because I appreciate love before, and that word is coming out, boom, like this now, because I have repeated so often. I appreciate love. I appreciate love.
Yeah.
Boom, the hate is gone. So don't tell me you appreciate, like, but this is again where you see that they are clones, because they repeat all the same words that they have been taught without ever questioning the words that they use. And that's the first thing where you will bring a spell on you, is with the words. So I'm creating a total different vibration within me when I say I appreciate love you. It's totally different than, because in my head I hear the word eight, and eight
Right.
refers to eight, exactly, with the H also. So to me, it's out of the equation. Definitely has nothing to do in my life, but that's where you see where someone is different and where someone is a clone. When you do not question nothing, you do not use scrutiny, you do not research, you just think you're under the pretense that you know something in this world. You're not different, bro. You're just the same as every other muggle out there, and there's probably, like he said, PT, 100,000 and more like you,
Yes.
and even more. So he's generous with 100,000.
Right.
I would even put the number higher than that. But anyway, yeah. So go ahead, Frank. Share with me a difference or clones. I think it's
Yes.
pretty clear that we are all pretty much the same.
Right. I love this P-log and the point that P makes, because it's when you start having the awareness in yourself that maybe certain things that you wanted in the past. Maybe you just wanted that because that's what looked good. That's what everybody else wanted. That's what we've been taught. We've been conditioned to chase after certain things, money, wealth, fame. And these are all kind of things that maybe it's fewer people have them. So we want things that are harder to acquire or attain. But then it's like what, like P has talked about money and fame on his P Speaks channel. And it's like, you know, what you get when you have money and fame is you get a lot of responsibility. And so you can have that. But the thing is, what are you going to do if you get it? And not everybody's going to get it. But if you misuse it when you get it, then you're calling a lot of hardship onto yourself. Yeah. You know, if you're not going to use those assets and things in the way to be of service to divine and be able to share with people things that are true and not manipulate people and confuse people and make people follow an example that is going to be self-destructive, you're going to get the weight of that if that's what ends up happening to those people who get that opportunity. But I'm just kind of relating to all that because we are influenced, we are conditioned by these certain characters that we see in our lives on the TV, the pop stars, the musicians, the people doing television programs, the movies, the politics, and all these different kind of things. And when you look at it, those beings haven't really gotten anywhere in terms of like living a life that is meaningful. And because you always see them having getting into all sorts of problems, either like something from their past comes out and it's revealed that they were, you know, some type of like hidden monster that was just like, you know, doing all these bad things, like, because that stuff, you know, your past will come and show itself, you know, and especially if you get up into those kind of higher positions, or if you are one of those, you know, quote unquote famous people, and then you kind of do something that makes somebody else mad, then they're going to expose you, you know, because they're all doing stuff behind the scenes that's just like super wicked, you know. But so that's a realization that each one of us will have. The more that we actually start to move toward positivity, healthy living, having respect for the environment and nature and the elements and earth, and wanting to actually live an evolving life, you realize all these kind of desires and things that you might have had like a dream of in the past actually might have just been put in your head or put in your heart or whatever through you know, a false projection of things that we should chase that aren't true. And like P says, yeah, everything, it just, all that comes from social conditioning, which is controlled by the beings and forces which control society. It's all coming from the same limited box. Love how he says, to become an individual requires separation from the hive. And it requires like a certain focus on or a penance toward higher and divine, or like a really like a direct, like you have to be continuous. So you have to keep wanting that and keep renewing that vow to evolve and keep renewing that that quest for truth and you know, when that fire's inside you, you know, it's not going to go out, but you do have to tend to it. You know, you have to stack that fire up and you have to kind of like rake the coals away and like keep that burning bright. And because there's a lot of different things that can try to put that fire out, you know, but you know, when that fire is going in you, like it's really fun to just like tend to it and really make it the best that it can be. Because I mean, ultimately it's going to be good for you. It's going to be good for me. It's like you say, if I win, everybody wins. Whenever we're actually doing what's right for ourselves, you know.
And also, once you start exploring that higher self within you, the individual, you will get a much bigger link to higher and divine. Like
Yes.
you will feel it a lot deeper within you than you were feeling before. You
Mm-hmm.
will feel supported, guided, protected, blessed. If you want to use the word blessed, I'm okay.
Yes.
It's okay to recognize that you're less than higher and divine. So
Yeah.
if you recognize that, you're gonna be blessed.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's
So I have
just
no problem with that word.
Yeah, I think that's a great word.
Yeah.
And then so like P says, yeah, do different does require really doing different and and evolving. So even if you're born as one of the clones, we have to just, that is a part of our journey for each of us is to make our way out of that, eggshell that is like how they've cast you into kind of this mold, but we can break free, but it's up to us to
Like
not.
we're all into a cocoon. You know that movie
Yes.
Cocoon? Remember?
I don't know if I remember that movie, but I
Yeah,
could.
it's an old movie. They were into an egg or something. Cocoon.
Oh, I should check that
Yeah.
out.
Or the Matrix where
Oh, the
Neo
Matrix.
stuck
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the egg.
exactly.
That's it. So we're all into a cocoon, into an eggshell, and I think that's what it is. You have to break free from that eggshell, from that
Mhm.
cage of illusion. I think I've done something with Arthur on that, the cage. I remember, and yeah, I think once you start exactly breaking free from all the stuff that holds you back to reach a state of individuality, you're going to experience a much vibrant life. First of all, it's a lot more healthy. Like to
Mhm.
me, to live a lie and say lies all day long, it's not a healthy thing. Like the thing, health is wealth. Yes, I get it. But also, you have to be aware of what is health. It's not just good food. Health is not, it's healthy to not tell lies. Just try to wake up each and every day and speak truth all day. See how your life change.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But that's it. The life around the people around you, their life will change too, because at one point they will be like, "Oh, maybe he's right. Maybe I'm wrong."
Right.
That's it. So then you start like, "Whoa, there's something going on here." I know there's something going on. We're all like stuck into a cocoon, so it's easy to see when once you're out of the cocoon. Also, once you're the one out of that cocoon, then you see all the other ones really stuck in there.
Hmm.
So acceptance is our next one, Frank.
Yes. Acceptance. Most here seek acceptance from society. Only few seek acceptance from higher and divine. The difference is more marked than between heaven and hell.
And that's a lot what I was saying before. Acceptance and acceptation. Acceptation en français, and the P and the T in the middle of that word too.
Yeah.
So, acceptation. La plupart ici cherchent l'acceptation de la société. Seuls quelques-uns cherchent l'acceptation du supérieur divin. La différence est plus marquée qu'entre le paradis et l'enfer. And today I realize more and more that yes, I might have been accepted or chosen or something by higher and divine. Even for me, it's hard to see all this because I am me. You guys see me from your perspective. Maybe you already have everything figured out for me, but I haven't. So to me, it's each and every day is fresh. I'm waking up. I'm looking at a world that's filled with confusion. And also my world is still a bit confused because of the people around me that makes me confused. So it's a lot to battle with each and every day. But I think if you choose your battles, they say choose your battles, it's going to be easy to there's many battles we shouldn't even engage, and but we tend to seek acceptance from the masses instead of seeking acceptance from higher and divine. Like to
Mm.
me, it's much more important for me to be accepted by higher forces, doing the right thing,
Oh
I want to use the word right again. If you want to use the right, do the right thing in the right moment, when you're there, present, here on earth, like don't wait till you freaking die to do stuff. It's going to be too late.
Yeah.
Take action. Go into action. Just do it. If you have something right, something good for the world, a great gift, just do it. Don't think about it, because the lower self will kick in, the fear, all that stuff. I don't process my life like that. I process my life in a state of a servant art. I'm called to dance, I will jump and dance. And there's no way I'm going to sit on the sideline and not do it. So if PT calls me to dance, to do a show, I'm here. Boom. I'm ready to dance anytime.
Let's go.
So, anytime. So, or anybody else, because also you prepare yourself for that acceptance. If PT accepted to do all this with me here on the Truman Show, I clearly see some kind of acceptance here. So, and you too, same thing. If he has went to you to make you one of his primary teacher of his divine doctrine or divine mantra that he has, or divine books and all his divine stuff, it's because he accepted you. So then you realize that, also being accepted by higher and divine, yes, higher forces, but those higher forces have sent people on earth. What, you think there's nobody on earth to take care of business? Yes, there are. But the divine knows also how we are confused and how we will reject higher and divine even if we see it right in front of us.
Right.
Like PT is one of the divine representative on earth, but many people will just walk by him and not notice anything, where I look at him and I can feel the vibe. I can feel the stuff emanating from his body and stuff, his frequency. And I would walk beside him inside the city or something, and I would pick up his vibe even, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, because people that vibe on a higher state of vibration, you can feel that once you're in tune yourself, you're more on a high vibe, and you see other on high vibe, you're like, whoa, you're like me, let's go. We're on the ride together. And that's what happened with PT and me, is we both recognized that there was a high vibration here, and now we can exchange and meet on so many good levels together. That's it's not divergent opinion and stuff and ego, and no, it's we both know. I know. Also, you want to be accepted, start to learn something.
That's the work. That's the work we got to do. We got to put that work in.
Yeah, put the work in and put the divine work in and do the work on yourself. First of all, the work is on yourself, because that's what you have to reach, the higher self, the higher and divine within you. That's a big job, because there's so much stuff that will distract you from that path. But again, if you are focused and ready to accept the guidance from higher and divine, from God, from, call it the way you want, the forces, or you got to be willing to do your part, because the divine will not play and dance with muggles with no magic and do not see the sparkle in this world and all the mysterious stuff that is involved with being here. Like, if you cannot see it, why would we waste any time with you, except you for any purpose, any divine work that has to be done on earth? I don't think it's work like that. You want to be accepted, raise your vibration, raise your vibe, even raise, elevate, elevate. Bring up your vibe, bring up your vibration. Bring it up, and really vibe high and with love and compassion and serenity and kindness, and bring all this into your being instead of the hate, jealousy, envy, and all the greed and all the shameless emotion that much people experience all day long, because they don't want you to have what they don't have. So then the envy and the jealousy and And that's not your higher self, that's your lower self. Because like you said, if I win, we all win. Simple.
Mm-hmm.
If you win, I win.
Yeah.
So
Right.
once we recognize that, we're like, okay, Truman's a freaking winner. I'm going to stick to that guy. I'm going to win too. Eventually, I'm going to have my win. But
Right.
that's it. That's what we do. And we all come out to inspire each other to reach a higher state of vibration. And that's with good food, good talk, good reality, good truth, good everything that is good in this world. Well, embrace it. God is good. God is good.
Yes.
Divine is good. Embrace it. So
Mm-hmm.
I think once we recognize that, it's just we recognize more the Satan or the evil vibration, and we're okay with it too. No? Like all day long, we will engage in evil stuff, shameless.
Mm-hmm.
And evil is everything that is against living. So it's
Right.
very easy to recognize once you walk into a grocery store that it's an evil place. It's crap all over.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. It drives me nuts to enter IGA.
Got a whole meat locker in the back full of death.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing I find healthy there is maybe olive oil, maple syrup. I can name it like 5, 6 things.
Right.
But
Yeah.
the rest, even maple syrup, don't abuse it.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah. In balance.
personally, I freaking love it.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah, yeah, it's good.
One of nature's gifts.
That's it. So it comes from nature. It comes from a maple tree.
Mm-hmm.
So no, and here we have it in abundance. So, but be careful because in the abundance of water, the fool is thirsty.
Yeah, that's totally.
Boom. It's on you, Frank.
Yeah.
How I finish it.
Yeah. Acceptance is like you were mentioning. To gain the acceptance, we have to show that we have some type of like interest and effort towards wanting acceptance from something that matters, from higher and divine. Because like he starts here, most seek acceptance from society, because we all have that feeling that like we want to feel love, we want to feel accepted, we want to feel like people like us and things like that. But the problem with putting too much concern toward other people's liking us is that ultimately, like right now in the time we live in, there's just so much that's just false, so much that's going against, like you pointed out, evil is just live backwards. So anything that's going against life there's so much that's going against our own well-being. There's so much that's being promoted and that's being sold and that's being pushed out there as normal, that is destructive and that is harmful to not only us as individuals, as beings, but also is harmful to the elements, is harmful to the earth, to the things that support our own very life, the very thing that grows us food. We are, not showing the right type of respect and concern that we need to for the earth, that being that supports us, that feeds us every day. So, so it's not unnatural to want to feel like love and receptivity from others. But at the time that we're living in, we have to, start to make the discernment of who is the most, like, what is the most important thing to receive that acceptance from. And that's from things that are more connected to divine, more connected to this like eternal truth and these kind of things, because there's just a lot of I don't know what the word for is. It there's a soothsayers. There's just a lot of sheep's wolf in sheep's clothing out there, that's just they're not who they say they are, and they've been tricking people for a long time so that they can get fat off of our suffering, and even at the ones who are evolving, like, we want good for them too. We want them to change their ways. We want them to realize their how perturbed or how backwards, we want good for everyone. We want people to start to make the shift, because just like you said, you win, I win. Like that, it just works like that, you know?
Yeah, and I was thinking when you said something about evil, I don't even think there is evil forces in this world. It's just man and his evil ways.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
all it is. Because the forces of this world are divine. Look around.
Mhm.
There's
Yeah.
no Satan showing up, or yeah, but there will be a tree growing out the ground. There will be veggies, fruit. That's all divine.
Right.
Animals, humans, even they're in their fucked up evil ways, but they're still divine, perfect fractal. They're just
Mhm.
very incoherent. But yeah, the evil stuff, it's not a force. We often refer to evil as a force. It's just ways that stupid humans have, that
Right.
they have not come out of their evil ways. So
Mhm.
they are in the lower self. You will have evil ways, and as within, so without. So you have evil within. If you're against living, you will eat shit food without questioning. You will eat plastic margarine without questioning.
Right.
Yeah, it's plastic almost. It's one molecule away from freaking plastic, that shit. It's freaking,
Mhm.
even the ants don't go on it.
Uh,
Put margarine in your garden beside butter, and the
Mhm.
ants won't even go eat it.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
fucked up, man.
That
People put
shows
that
you.
in their body.
That
So,
shows
right there, you're against life because you don't even treat your own life properly. That was my
you.
case.
Mhm.
Man. I hate margarine, plastic margarine in my life.
Oh yeah.
Until I realize, oh shit, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, like
Like,
this is a
wow.
science
Even,
experiment.
yeah, and now they gave it to you like with some kind of avocado oil, but there's always like seed oil in it and
Right, right.
canola. And here in Canada, it's the canola land. So imagine
Uh,
where it's all over the place.
yeah,
And we know canola oil is not very,
it's
uh,
not
it's,
it's not
but
top
it's
tier.
not the best. It's not the
No,
best.
no,
Just
no.
leave it like this. It's not
Like,
the best for you. You better go with olive oil. I love personally olive oil and avocado oil. That's the
mhm.
two I use.
Yeah,
But yeah, exactly. Because I'm for life. I want to feel alive. I don't want to feel dead and be sick and no
exactly.
energy. And so once you realize your evil ways, that it's not just killing someone,
Mhm.
that's evil. But there's a lot more evil ways that you should
Yeah,
dissipate, get rid of,
exactly.
change. But that's what it is. Change your ways. When you say change your ways, change your evil ways for divine ways.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
kindness, compassion,
And P,
serenity.
I love like P really helps us to, because like love is a natural thing. It comes from
Yeah.
divine. And there are very ways, simple ways that we can start to just like go back toward a natural type of living, eating naturally, and just doing the simple practices of centering ourselves, working on speaking things that are true, um, grounding ourselves, touching the earth, and just developing that compassion and that good feeling. Um, so I'm getting, Yannick, I'm getting some messages that I need to go pick up my
Ah,
daughter
okay,
at
okay.
school. So I'm gonna have to cut it a little bit short today.
Okay. We're gonna cut this short there. I'm gonna let you go. It's 53 minutes anyway,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
we're almost at the end. Our job, Frank, again, full presence and power as always for
Yeah,
life, but
another
for
one
dead, we're not.
positive and just keep moving forward in the positive way.
That's it. Do the right thing. Do what makes you feel good on the side of life, not dead. Because sometimes you can even feel you feel good, but it's dead stuff. So
Right.
it's not. So stay on the divine side. So Frank, large up once again, and we will be forward again
Next
next
moon day.
next moon day. Exactly.
Yes.
We're out. See ya. Boom.
Peace.
Peace.